You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. Let's find out what's up with Nick Poliokini, who joins me now in studio with his Disney paraphernalia,
right?
Disney 70th anniversary shirt on and everything.
I do, which is funny. So talk about poignant, because I was there before I came here today.
Disneyland.
Like, I was at Disneyland before I came here. So I came all the way straight on through from Anaheim, 2 hours from Anaheim to get up here to Burbank to be here for Later with Mo Kelly. So,
and then you didn't stay here long. You left here and went where?
And then I went over to the Empire Center down the street because somebody had a hankering and a story about donuts. So I went over to Krispy Kreme. Shout out to the crew that's over in the Burbank store. And picked up both a dozen original glaze and also that special collab box with Hulu. Yeah.
So not only did we get to discuss it, we actually got to taste it. And before your time with us is finished, we'll get some reviews from those in the studio about the Hulu box.
Yes. Everybody, I think well, no, you haven't tried any yet. I haven't tried any yet, but we've got at least 2 that have been tried in the Hulu box. So, but yeah, to go back to what we were talking about last hour with the 70th anniversary. And so it's funny that you specifically talked about Magic Key, because that is something that I'm a part of. And Magic Key is the annual pass holder program for the Disneyland Resort. I funnily enough, if that's a word, just made, because you have 90 days out that you can make the reservations, is how the system works. So I literally was doing the 16th, 17th, 18th, and they're all available right now. And I was there for a friend's birthday at the resort today and was sitting down to lunch, and we booked their reservations. And then, as you have said, there are no more reservations available.
Were you afforded an opportunity because you were there in person as opposed to trying to do them?
Purely, we just caught the tail end before they were gone. I had already booked them, but the friends that were with us, who live over in Pasadena, they were booking as we were doing it. But it literally, 90 days out, we're already set up and ready for the 70th. And I think, because the funniest part is July 17th is the actual birthday of Disneyland, July 17th, 1955. But of course, Disney likes to give you as much celebration time as possible.
Of course.
So they'll start it early on Friday, the 16th of May. So the biggest thing for you to know now and get ready for, if you are not already prepared for it, Nick Poliokini, This Weekend with Nick on Instagram. You can actually see, I coincidentally have a link there that has all the details about the 70th anniversary that I just put out on my story today. But you can also follow along and be able to see all the fun and excitement as it happens. So I've got that. Also, we're getting ready. Right now, we're doing Celebrate Soulfully at Disneyland. Mostly, actually, is in both parks. And that's in celebration of a lot of Black History Month. And then we have coming up next Friday, you'll be able to check out the Food and Wine Festival, because I'll have all the details about that. In fact, I'll be meeting with some of the winemakers and some of the celebrity chefs that'll be there. And then, and then we'll move into the 70th birthday celebration. So, but it's funny, I am decked out in all of my goodies. So you'll be able to see that on social media as well. But, it was wild. And I barely made it back from Mammoth, from snowboarding.
I saw that people were snowed in. There
were 2 avalanches. The Snow Patrol, unfortunately, they're fine now, but there are 3 of them transported to the hospital there. I got up there on Thursday and Friday, and we were shut down. There were 18 miles of the 395 that were shut down between Bishop and Mammoth. So we couldn't even get into town. And then once we got there, yours truly decided to make sure that his EV was charged up and got that stuck in the snow. So that was a whole experience. I found out that AAA does service you if you get stuck. They'll bring a winch out and get your car out. But yeah, it was wild. I have seen incredible snow in Mammoth and up in Big Bear, and I've never seen anything like this before. It was absolutely insane. And we were staying, if you're familiar with Mammoth, there's several lodges, Eagle Lodge, Canyon Lodge, Main Lodge. We were near Canyon, which is one of the most popular ones. We were able to watch all these things happening. We could see the avalanche when it came down. We could see everything from where we were. It was wild.
Were you ever in fear for your own safety?
No, we were good because we were far enough away, but it was we were on the other side of the lodge, so we could see it coming down the mountain. So if it did come down all the way and had affected the lodge, then it would have been able to get to us, but it didn't quite make it all the way down there. So it was a lot. It was a fun experience, but it's good to be here with you, and it's good to be here Later with Mo Kelly.
Let me ask you this. Who, going back to Disneyland for a moment, someone who goes to Disneyland so often for so many years.
Sure.
Can it meet your expectations for a 70th anniversary celebration?
I having been a part of the Walt Disney Company, and I worked there from 98 through 2003, and I opened New Tomorrowland in 98 and also Plaza Inn, and I was a part of the expanded resort project of opening Disney Grand California Hotel and Disney California Adventure, all of that. So, yes. Can it be done? Absolutely. And can it be done well? Yes, because Disney is exceptionally good at doing that. The question will be, when the Walt Disney Company becomes involved, it becomes a company-wide celebration, as opposed to just to our resort or to the Walt Disney World Resort in Florida or Disneyland Paris or any of those things. So it'll be really interesting to see, as we have observed Disney Plus and all the other different properties within the Walt Disney Company, how this will be played out. So what will be returning for the 70th anniversary? Wondrous Journeys, which is a very popular fireworks show, which is interesting to me because predominantly you get a new fireworks show when a celebration year comes around. In fact, if we go over to Tokyo Disneyland, which is operated by Oriental Land and Sea, which is the partnership with the Walt Disney Company, they have a agreement that every 5 years, for every celebration year, they have a brand new parade and a brand new fireworks extravaganza. Something that we used to have here, but we have not seen in a very, very long time. We always get these incredible things that come back. That's why the Electrical Parade continues to come back. Now, Paint the Night will be returning for the 70th anniversary. Very excited about that. One of the most amazing nighttime parades.
Yes.
All that's back, but we're not seeing anything brand new. Now, there will be a new World of Color inside of Disney California Adventure, so that's exciting. But that's just one of the two gates, one of the two parks at the resort. And that's also the new park, the new gate that's not Disneyland. So Disneyland is getting some really incredible returning properties, but there's nothing specifically brand new for the 70th. So it'll be really interesting to see, because Disney does like to keep things close to their vest. So there's a very good likelihood that there's something on the horizon that we have not seen. But people like me who are good on the inside track usually find things out, and we may not be able to share those things. I've yet to hear anything. That much I can say. So I don't know what the 70th will hold, other than having all these fantastic things that we've experienced and have been gone for a few years will be coming back. So for me, it seems that the theme for the 70th is going to be nostalgia. I think that's where it's kind of leaning into that idea. Now, there will be a few things coming. The most exciting, but we don't have official word on it, is the brand new Walt Disney audio animatronic that will be joining and having a very special show along with Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln on Main Street. But that will not be opening on the opening weekend.
No Walt Disney hologram?
No. Well, it's very odd. And this is the thing. So if you go through the history and you listen to Diane Disney, who is his daughter, and a couple things, one of the things that was always very specific is that they never wanted to create an audio animatronic of Walt. And now it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what that is going to look like. So I think that obviously means the Disney family has signed off on it.
Of course.
Because they're not going to let, dad be affected in that way in any way, shape, or form. And it's incredible to think that Walt will hypothetically be walking amongst us once again. But it'll be really interesting to see what happens, because if you've been to Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, it's pretty darn impressive. Like, you think you are looking at Abraham Lincoln, and obviously that is not the case, because that is the tip-top audio animatronic that's available right now. What is interesting to me is that with Epic Universe coming to Florida, which will be opening Memorial Day weekend, right, the weekend following the opening of the 70th anniversary, Epic Universe will have some of the absolute state-of-the-art audio animatronics, including in Dark Universe, which will be Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein and Wolfman, and all of the different Universal monsters will be represented in these incredible audio animatronics that we've never seen the likes of. So,
can it compare? Will it compete?
We'll find out.
When we come back, we'll also find out about this Krispy Kreme and Hulu dual promotion. We talked about it earlier in the evening, how they've teamed up for this special variety pack of assorted flavors and combinations. We'll learn firsthand whether Tawala Sharp and I think Andrew Caravella tastes one. And I'm not sure, Stephen, did you taste one of the Hulu Krispy Kreme pack? Yeah, okay. So we'll get some firsthand choices about what is good and what is very good in just a moment.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Nick Polio, last call when Nick is on to tell you all what
KFI, later with Mo Kelly and Nick Paleocchini. We are live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And earlier in the show, we told you about Krispy Kreme and Hulu, how they were teaming up on a new donut collection inspired by movie theater snacks. And in discussing it, we were just overcome with this desire to have some Krispy Kreme donuts. Nick Paleocchini was listening in at that moment. He wasn't even officially on the show, and he was nice enough to leave the studio, get in his car, go to the other side of Burbank, and pick up a box of glazed donuts just for me, because I will eat every damn one of those.
And there are only maybe 4 left.
We're
out
not
of a
going to
dozen,
talk about how many I have. Okay, stop.
I didn't say you. I just said the box only has 4 left.
Yeah, they could do math, though.
That's okay. There's a few other people here that may have snuck in. Yes, there you go.
And we also got a box of the Hulu inspired snack donuts as well. Twella Sharp, you tried the caramel popcorn donut.
Yes.
What was your review?
The donut, the makeup of it was delicious, and the filling good. The caramel added was quite possibly one of the worst ideas Hulu or Krispy Kreme has ever come up with.
Let me say this real quick. It's an unglazed shell donut filled with caramel popcorn flavored cream filling, dipped in white icing and caramel popcorn, and topped with red icing drizzles. Continue.
The caramel popcorn is, again, the most atrocious addition that they could ever put. This popcorn tasted like day-old, stale caramel popcorn. Was not a good addition at all. But the donut itself, it is beautifully made. It almost looks like a popcorn bucket. So the white and red drizzle on top, it makes it look like a popcorn bucket. And the popcorn is like kind of at the top if you were to look at it face up. But no, I would never eat that donut again.
Andrew Caravella, you tried the blue raspberry slush donut, which is an original glazed donut dipped in blue raspberry flavored icing and blue sanding sugar.
Yeah, my tongue's still blue right now. So
kind of like if you had an icy.
Yeah. I mean, it literally tasted like I ate what a unicorn would throw up. I just...
That doesn't sound positive.
Well, I mean, unicorns are like rainbows and sparkles, right? So it was like a glittery kind of flavor. It wasn't too sweet. And that glittery blue raspberry it's almost like dry jelly. That's what it tasted like the filling that if you have a filling in a donut, but it was dried on top. That's kind of what it tasted like, but with a blue raspberry type of vibe. It wasn't too bad. If you want to be adventurous, I say try it once, but I wouldn't go back and get it again.
Adventurous doesn't sound like an endorsement.
Yeah, I'm not finding a reason to go and get a slice of that.
Okay. And Stefan, you had the cookie dough superstar donut, which was an unglazed shell donut filled with chocolate buttercream flavored filling, dipped in chocolate flavored icing, and topped with gold glitter sprinkles and cookie dough bites. Damn, that sounds like a lot.
It is a lot. And so personally, I liked it because so you bite into it, there's like little, almost like the Cookie Crisp cereal, but even smaller, like they're like dot sizes. And you bite into it, and obviously there's the cream, but it's a chocolate. And the first thought I was like, oh, that might be a little bit too much sugar. But then I got a bite of something else. They put I'm guessing it's not actually raw, but what tasted like raw cookie dough bites inside of the donut itself.
It probably was raw.
And that set it off.
It was raw cookie dough. Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, then it was that was magical. Whoever thought of that. That was great.
Magical. I like that.
Okay, so we have one endorsement, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. One yay, 2 nays.
And then what was the
last one was the candy double feature donut.
Which is also Stefan.
Yeah.
An original glazed donut dipped in white icing, topped with milk chocolate candy pieces and mini milk chocolate chips, and drizzled with chocolate flavored icing. My goodness.
See, I'm biased because there's another donut place that I used to go to that started to put like M&Ms on the donut. You put M&Ms on anything like that, you got a winner. And it's actually, it was funny because aside from that, it's actually pretty standard of a donut. Like there's nothing too crazy except the M&Ms. So I think if you want something a little bit out there, but not too much like some of these other ones, I think that's the one to start with because it's got the simple flavor and then you get the crunch from the M&Ms.
So we have 2 donuts, thumbs up, 2 donuts, thumbs down, or at least once, but never again.
I want to know which ones were the rejected ones that didn't make it through marketing. That's what I want to know.
Oh, yeah. In other words, if you said yes to this, what did you say no to?
That's a good point.
That's what I want to know.
No. We need to go with the cookie dough superstar donut as opposed to the molasses one.
Because I was just
The
trying to think-
Nutella filled donut.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So it's gonna be like Swedish fish, or I'm trying to think of all the different things you would get.
Ceviche flavored.
Oh,
That's not a bad idea, Tuala. If they would have done the popcorn with Nutella filling instead of
No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, seriously.
No.
And I
That was
actually
humor.
no, I had to go and drink some of that cafeteria milk we have over there.
I got some too.
So now my stomach is. I'm probably gonna be just hurling.
Yeah, you got the bubble
Great.
guts. in
Yeah,
about
I'm gonna
20
be-
minutes.
I had nothing to do with that part of the show. I just provided this, and that's it.
Well, we thank you for running down the
course.
street. Did you try anything yet?
I haven't tried anything. I had way too much fun watching all of you guys do it.
I tried the original glaze. All of them.
They're delicious.
All
They smell.
of them.
The studio smells amazing
What's
right
your
now.
review on
We'll say
that?
that much.
They usually have the law of diminishing returns. Like, think of hot dogs. If you eat one hot dog, it's great. 2, pretty good. 3, not so much. 4th, you've gone too far. It works in the other direction with the donuts. The first one was good. The second one was even better. The third one was heaven. The fourth one was better than sex.
Wow. And you heard it here first.
Might go for a 5th.
Somebody get him a
Well, they are
glass
shaped
of
like an
water.
O, so I get it.
You know,
Like, it makes
hey,
sense.
they always say twice on Tuesday. How about 5 times?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Oh, nice. There we go.
Finally.
Oh, I love it.
So what were we going to talk about?
So I'm gonna give you a quick rundown in the last couple of minutes here before my time is up for the show. There's 3 different art exhibits that are going down, and I've talked about these before with This Weekend with Nick, but it's really worthwhile if you are interested in unique art that is being resold here in Hollywood. So maybe it's from old movie sets or anything to that effect. Also new art from artists who are either well established or brand new, or never discovered before. So the 3 different art shows that actually start tomorrow and run all the way through Sunday are going to be the Felix Art Fair, which is at the Hollywood Roosevelt. And that's a great place to visit just for fun. And it is free $99 to get in. So it's worth doing that. Obviously, the art pieces themselves are not, but visiting it is. Also at the LA Convention Center South Hall, starting tomorrow all the way through Sunday, will be the LA Art Show, which is celebrating its 30th year. And that also will have some live demonstrations of artists that will be painting and sculpting and everything else. So that's well worth your time. And then the other art show, or the other art fair, is happening also starting tomorrow through the weekend. And it is over 10,000 artists that make unique claims to different things. Anyway, this happens in Atwater Village. It's a much smaller kind of alternative thing. So if you are looking to get ahead of your spring cleaning and you want to get something new for your home, this is fantastic, especially because all 3 of those events are supporting the efforts for the fires. So a certain amount of proceeds from every one of those events for all the purchase of the art, and some of the artists themselves are donating additional funds. All of that is going to continue to support those who lost their homes in the Palisades fire and the Eaton fire over in Altadena. So it's a really great opportunity for you to get out and experience something. Again, free $99 to get into those. If you're looking for something that's a little bit different, that is also available, but you're looking for something that's definitely unique and special, there is a new art exhibition from Mr. Brilliant that starts tomorrow and runs all the way through March. That's going to be more down the anime side of things. And then the one last thing, if you're looking for something to go in and do before the weekend comes, the California African American Museum, the cinema there has, it was all a dream, and it's a brand, it's a exclusive screening with free $99 to visit. You just have to RSVP to the event. This is happening on Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. You can always, listen to Later with Mo Kelly and then queue up for this. But if you have not seen It Was All a Dream, it's a very, very interesting, very different, it's called a visual memoir reflecting on the dawn and golden era of hip hop. But if you don't have a knowledge of that and you go into it, it is so incredibly well done. I have seen it before. I have not seen it in this presentation, but I have seen it before. But it's got Notorious B.I.G., Wu-Tang's, Method Man's in it, Snoop Dogg's in it, a whole bunch of other different performers. And a lot of them will actually be there for the screening on Thursday. So, and these are great things for you to check out this week or heading into the weekend.
Very nice. Thank you, Nick. You want to hang around for a little longer?
I would love to, but if you want to find out what I'm doing, as always, you can follow me on Instagram, Nick Poliokini, and This Weekend with Nick. You can find out all the details, including on what's coming up for the 70th anniversary for Disneyland. Also, Knott's Berry Farm, the Peanut Celebration, celebrating everything Snoopy and Charlie Brown is going down. And do not forget that the Fan Fest is coming up for Universal Studios, and I will be there for opening weekend for that, which will be featuring Back to the Future and Star Trek and so many other unique properties. So all that and more you can learn again on social media, Nick Poliokini and This Weekend with Nick.
When we come back, the latest rage, Johnson enlargement. KFI AM 640, we're live everywhere. No, I'm being serious. No, I'm being serious. It's coming up.
I can see it on the rundown. I got
Plastic surgery and enhancements are no longer just for women. And if that is acceptable in society, this too shall be acceptable for those who need it.
This is a very serious story.
I understand.
I think it's disrespectful for you to laugh at the story.
Apologize. I'll tell you more when we come back, but yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Are we all on one accord here? Okay, we're going to take this seriously. We're going to act like adults on the other side of this.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, everybody wants a little growth in their life.
Yep.
Yeah. We need to be the bigger people here.
It's the least we can do.
Yeah, bigger something.
I'm just going to try to get ahead of this now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take our time. We don't have to rush. This is a story that we can really stretch out.
What was that basketball player? It was Magic
Johnson.
All right, this is a little too long now.
That's very big of you.
Stefan, let's go. Andrew, go.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
When I look at pictures today on Instagram, I don't know if the person is real, AI. I don't know if the attributes are real, if the muscles are real, if the mammary glands are real. I don't know if any of that stuff is real anymore because with all the filters and everything, you never know if what you're looking at exists in real life. They have these Brazilian butt lifts where you don't have to work out anymore. They just stick some stuff in your behind and now it's like round and almost deformed looking.
No, it's lifted.
I guess, okay, if that's what you want to call it. But previously, we thought that was specifically just for women. That's not the case anymore. Men, they're getting like pectoral enhancements.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting liposuction. And men increasingly are extending parts of themselves which make them feel better about their overall appearance and self-worth. Put it another way, guys are getting Johnson enlargements. More and more.
Mm-hmm.
Every day. It's becoming very, very popular among men. And Johnson enlargement, as far as a business, has been booming. Multiple cosmetic surgeons have spoken out saying that Johnson enlargements is now the most popular procedure.
Yeah, it is. Look, there are industries where being more enhanced helps. There are male models who need additional enhancement, but besides using prosthetics in their shorts when modeling, there are male sex workers. There are porno workers, and I'm not playing when I say that these are the individuals who are frequenting these enhancements. They're getting the shots. They're doing all types of things.
Like fillers?
Fillers, yes. And this is what they're doing to keep themselves strong like bull.
Right, because nobody wants to have wrinkles there.
No. They don't want
we
wrinkles.
Can talk about that if you want.
You don't want.
You can get that
any
iron.
Sagging.
That's a thing.
No, look, you don't want any sagging.
No, I get it. Wow.
You want to be there.
Define
you want
you.
to be present.
Define the you.
The
here.
individuals who are, look, this is also something that is booming among Fortune 500 and various business leaders of the world who are tired of only being wanted for their money. And literally they're saying, look, I don't want to just be wanted for my money. I want to be like Pete what's the
Davidson?
guy? Davidson, yeah.
Davidson, yeah.
I want to be like Pete, and I want to have,
Did you see the I don't know, there's this meme going around showing Jeff Bezos when he first started Amazon versus like maybe a year ago.
Yep.
And it says something
Yes.
to the effect of, you're not ugly, you're just broke. And it shows the change in him with all the money. Now he looked like a regular nerd, droopy and saggy looking, and now he looks like he works out all the time. He looks like he's buff and someone who could get someone like a Lauren Sanchez.
His hairline.
Right. All
I
of
mean,
that.
look, we're also talking about someone who could afford. I'm not saying that he is, but who could afford bicep enhancements, pectoral enhancements. He could have his chest sculpted
Yep.
and stomach sculpted with that ice sculpting. He could also be paying for some enhancements because Lauren Sanchez is not like, hey, I want money all the time, because what he doesn't want is her stepping out on him for someone who is already endowed.
Yeah, but you know what happens most of the time when you get, surgery X done? That anxiety goes away, but then it goes somewhere else, right? Like, oh, well, I got this taken care of. We're good now. Come to think of it, maybe I should look at getting this done too. That happens all the time. Like, your problems are not solved. just
Agreed.
Because you do that.
Usually one procedure leads to the next procedure, be it a tattoo or whatever. You usually move on to the next thing that you quote unquote want to improve. Now, as far as this particular procedure, it could be the first one. It could be the third one.
Exactly. Oh, it's not big enough. Let me get it done again,
All I can say is, and I say this pretty confidently, I'm not letting anyone down there with any type of knife, needle,
Amen.
nothing like that. Okay? What I got is what I got. And that's what it's going to be until the day I die.
Look, I, in my over 50 years of life now, have never once had a complaint. I have
here we
had,
go.
No.
Here we go. Let's look at the Yelp reviews here. Okay.
No. But I can understand how after you get over a certain age, how after you can get over a certain age,
What age
how
is
you
that?
may over 50, how after a while you may say to yourself like, I want to keep up with these young bucks out here, make sure that I am really, strong like bull.
Look, let me just say this, and I say this not in full self-deprecation, but just to be honest. There is nothing that I can do all night long anymore. I can't dance all night long anymore. Hell, I can't even sleep all night long anymore. There is nothing that I can do all night long anymore, and it's okay. I am not trying to keep up with someone who is 25 years old.
and spit on that thing. You get me?
Okay, I can accept that. I'm comfortable in my skin.
Yes.
Where I said skin, where I don't need an hour and a half long session to reaffirm my manhood.
These aren't about hour and a half long sessions. These are about even the 15 minutes backs getting totally blown out. That's what they're saying.
15 minutes, that's generous. I'm impressed. 15 minutes, that's really damn impressive.
Look, I have driven some great distances.
Indeed.
Haven't we all?
And it wasn't to just, 5 minutes and fan out. No. If I'm driving that long, I'm taking ginseng all the way out there.
It's a
Goji
preparation.
berries.
No,
like,
it is a preparation
Yes.
involved. Okay.
Yes.
If I know that I'm going to be dancing later that night, make sure I take a nap earlier in the day.
Yes.
Which I get. But this is going deeper into this thing. 25% of this doctor's clients have to come in for revisions.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
You're not
to
getting
me.
one shot, much less 2 or 3.
Correct.
Now, what it also doesn't talk about
Right.
is accidental Peyronie's. 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 I think it's Peyronie's.
It's Peyronie's disease.
Okay. Where you can have the misshapen.
Yes.
It can look around
lumpy,
Yeah.
lumpy, bumpy, heavy bruising, scarring.
What are these,
yeah.
like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs?
Yes.
Some people are into that, though.
It's like a bag of potatoes. You just, it's lumpy.
We're going to be serious about this. We'll
Okay.
get adult about this.
Shh. Okay. Look, you don't want Peyronie's. You don't want any of the other maladies.
Come in all shapes and sizes. There's no normal erection for everyone, but there is a normal for you. If, like thousands of other guys, you find that your erection doesn't look so normal anymore, it could be an addressable medical condition called Peyronie's disease,
The
or
letter
PD. A curved erection with a bump that bothers you is not normal and should be checked out by a urologist.
But if the bump
because
doesn't
you
bother
don't
you?
have to accept this as your new normal. Find a urologist at learnaboutpd.com.
Okay.
Now, okay. Okay.
Ooh,
I have
take a
seen.
breath.
I know. I have seen. There are actual stories. There are videos
Yes.
of some women who like bumpy, rough shapes.
Yes.
We are that close from locking out.
I mean,
Look, I'm not mad at this surgery. And I say, fellas, if you want to go get it, go get it. As long as women can go and enhance and pull up, pull down, pump up,
Tighten.
then so can you.
this would be
go
a great
get it.
talk back, let me just say.
Oh, God.
KFI AM
That's the
640.
truth.
We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
And before we go, here is my final thought. Earlier in the show tonight, I was talking about how there was legitimate speculation as to whether sports broadcaster and analyst Stephen A. Smith would throw his hat into the ring and run for president. To be fair, Smith, he said that he's more disinclined to run than anything. But it is something he at least casually has considered. And I don't don't personally know the guy. I only pseudo met him once while on opposite sides of an issue, debating politics on MSNBC many years ago. In fact, it was the Chris Matthews show. I say that to say he has been trending in this direction for a mighty long time. But I wouldn't presume to know him or his politics. But this is not about that. This is not even about him per se. This is about us as a country. This is about how we have devalued the importance of the presidency, where now it's just about whether someone likes you enough on TV, or whether you have a large following, or whether you have a large social media presence. If you do, well, then you can be seriously considered for the position of leader of the free world. Ain't that something? Carry the nuclear football, set both our domestic and foreign policy agendas, send troops into battle, maybe even to their deaths. Make decisions which could define history and or destroy us as a nation, because that's where we are as a nation. You need not have any applicable experience on any level, because that's how little we think of what it means to become president of the United States. Because right now, as of 2025, we want to be entertained more than anything. Here's the flip side. And the flip side is that the people considering and maybe even actually running, like Stephen A. Smith, they also think just as little of the job. Here's how I know. Because they only endeavor to start at the very top. They've managed nothing. They've never led an agency, managed a bureaucracy, but ready to step in and manage more than 2 million federal employees on top of those other aforementioned responsibilities, which are very, very important. And they think that they can do that they're ready to do that they're qualified to do that because they have some sort of cool podcast or some sort of an engaging TV personality. And don't get me wrong. Stephen A. Smith has a cool podcast. He has an engaging personality, but don't tell me he's qualified to do anything that the president of the United States is required to do. And these individuals, it's not limited to Stephen A. Smith, but they aren't content to run for state assembly or mayor, demonstrate that at least on a small level, a local level, that they are of the mettle, METTLE, to become any elected official. They just go straight to president. Who thinks like that? I mean, evidently, Stephen A. Smith, Donald Trump, and others, and of course, millions of would-be voters, because we're okay with that. It's one thing to think that you can run. It's another thing to vote for that person. So it's all of us. It's about us as a country. We've turned the phrase career politician into some sort of slur or scarlet letter, as if there's no competency requirement attached. Imagine for me for just a moment. Imagine pointing at someone and calling him or her a career doctor or career accountant or career teacher or career pilot and thinking that's some sort of insult. Put all those jobs together times 5,000 and they won't ever have the collective responsibility of one president of the United States. They won't touch as many lives. They won't be responsible for protecting as many lives or appoint Supreme Court justices who will preside for the next 40 years. But nonetheless, we require fewer qualifications than any of those 5,000 doctors, accountants, teachers, or pilots. We only require our candidates to become president of the United States, to become leader of the free world. We only require that they say stuff we like. Reach higher, America, because eventually, there will be consequences for not prioritizing qualifications. For KFI AM 640, I'm Mo Kelly.
If there's news, if things shift, if they stay the same, if things change for better or worse, regardless of what's happening, you're going to hear it here. It's what we do.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere.